If you can put some buffs on this potential to give this Ember some steroids.
With a lot of skill. That's lineup you want to have consistent.
With this Axe build, the Tiny, it got a new look. Before, it kind of hit a linear timing, but now with Axe Daedalus build, it just scares more and more to the late game.
Do you think that's good against Ember though? Same question basically.
I agree with you though. I think they needed something of a hard catch, especially if they picked Ember so early, and they only have ET, right? So
5 seconds remaining.
this ET can have a very good game. It's gonna be very hard to catch him if Liquid doesn't pick any more stunts.
So what do you think is the current likelihood for where this Tiny would land? Because is it possible that they may just like it in a 1v1 Ember versus Tiny mid lane matchup?
It's possible. I think for Liquid, it's one of the heroes that makes a lot of sense to play on Weeha if you want to have the true hard carry of the game be Miracle,
Such as an anti-mage, which he's been,
for example.
defaulting to quite a bit.
We saw a game from OG last night with Thompson playing Tiny and creating tons of space for, I think it was that a Jugger that game for Ana? I don't remember exactly.
Yes, that was what it was.
But we could see the same kind of recipe be followed here by Liquid. RNG are going to grab the Mirana, so now they have two mobile heroes in the Ember and the Mirana playing against this unreliable catch of Elder Titan against these two heroes. Mirana is kind of vulnerable against Tiny though. She gets caught, she can die pretty easily. But so far, mobility seems to be a pretty solid solution for RNG. IO, third pick. Liquid, can you believe it?
Wow.
Liquid are
Getting away with it this deep into the draft.
This would be a hero that every team would ban against Liquid first phase in the past.
Yeah.
GH's IO is
Honestly,
probably the best in the world,
yeah,
on support at least.
at the time when Liquid was not doing that great this season, one of the things that I attributed it to was the fact that Io wasn't in captain's mode. So not only did they not have access to it, but you basically got a free ban against Liquid every single game.
Absolutely.
So right now RNG is probably thinking, what's a good hero for Gyro? Because it's pretty obvious that Gyro's coming up, especially with the ET.
Even more mobility. Stampede.
But that means Abaddon is most likely going to be a 5.
Yeah,
That's
now he
true.
looks like a support. And honestly, I don't mind. I think Centaur is really good in this game. Again, more mobility against Elder Titan, trying to avoid the stomps. You have a way of getting in on top of the IO when he has Blink Dagger. Ember, in my opinion, a great hero against IO, so Liquid not really set up too well for that matchup. And Ember is also good against Elder Titan. We talked about him being able to dodge the stomps, but something that's really good against Elder too is being able to get on top of him so you can kill him and take him out of the fight. And having these heroes that just jump in the backline and blow it up can be super useful against both IO and Elder. So I'm really liking the direction RNG is taking this. And the one thing that their lineups may be lacking is a little bit better tower damage or a little bit more team fight.
Yeah, this upcoming pick from Liquid is probably going to be the game winner here. So I think they're taking quite a long time to discuss what it is.
So you're assuming now would be the time that they find the pairing for the IO and then maybe save your 5th pick for your mid lane?
I don't know if I like Gyro here though.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're talking about it. Other options such as Juggernaut or any other heroes.
So you don't like the Gyro, why exactly?
I think it can get bursted. Oh, they still go for it. I think they were debating it and then they are still, they YOLO'd. I think it's okay with the ET.
Yeah, so the Liquid's lineup has great synergy with itself, right? It definitely makes a lot of sense. Yes, but with what they're facing, my concern for them is can they actually get on top of heroes with Gyro? What Gyro wants is that heroes stand still or move slowly so he can get on top of them with Rocket Barrage, so he can hit a good call down and get all the Black Cannon attacks off. But as we've mentioned multiple times now, RNG's lineup is super mobile. So how do you ensure that your Gyro gets the damage off maybe he's... I think he's relatively tanky with the IO support, right? But IO can also just get blown up this game.
Yeah, I agree. RNG's heroes, they're not just mobile, but they're also very tanky too. And I think Liquid, IO is a save, but I don't think it's enough. The RNG has a lot of damage too.
And now what Liquid needs to decide going into this next phase is if Tiny is a 2 or a 3. I'm pretty sure that this is Kuro playing the Elder Titan and GH Wisp, which would put the Tiny on either Weeha or Mind Control. Mind Control plays a great offlane Tiny, by the way, so it's definitely a possibility. But they will be picking blindly on the last one. They don't know the matchup. Oh, is that the first of the tournament?
I think it might be. I think it is.
Oh.
So knock another one down the list of unplayed heroes. We were getting very, very close to, I think that maybe 6 unplayed heroes left.
Yeah, now I think it's down to 5.
5, yeah, exactly. Wow. This is your boy, Cinder. I've seen your Twitch profile picture.
I used to love this hero, and I still love it. It's just not been in as good of a place lately as it used to.
Okay.
I think his laning can be okay because Abaddon is not that strong of a laner. It's just the top lane from RNG.
The question, the question that I have here is that can Nightstalker push? Because I look at Liquid's lineup and I see that this is a team that kind of struggles to get tower damage in. And Nightstalker, obviously, with the new Dark Ascension, he gets a lot of damage, he gets a lot of mobility. So in terms of map control, Liquid looks amazing right now. But in terms of taking structures, I'm a little bit skeptical.
The way Nightstalker pushes is by giving really good vision and diving the enemy team when they're trying to defend and kill them off and get the first pick. Get the start of the fight on your terms, and then if they try to defend, they just end up having extra casualties.
So you just have a numbers advantage.
Basically, that's the idea. And speaking of numbers advantage, they also have IO. So there's a lot of ways of getting skirmishes going your way. One really strong suit for Nightstalker in this game is that he has an undispellable silence. So when he's on top of heroes with the silence aura from Crippling Fear, a hero like Ember can't get away, he can't even itemize against. Sure, you can buy yourself some time with Yules. Maybe Force Staff can be a possible solution. You force out an instant Remnant. It's a good way of countering out a bad end so he can't save heroes. I think Nightstalker's job in this game is literally use ulti.
For ulti to commit, using the Nightstalker and ET Spirit Vision in order to set up for the Tiny Burst. I think it's going to all come down to who gets the initiation, who gets caught out, and who's able to stop the counter initiation from the IO save as well as the Abaddon save. But here we go, going into game 1, OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, RNG up against Team Liquid to start this day off, and with drafts coming in, we're seeing a bit of flair, a bit of new heroes, right? This Mind Control Nightstalker coming in as the last pick for Liquid. You're sort of pointing at the RNG lineup that you seem to like what they've got going on. Explain to me, why does this Nightstalker not just ruin everything? It seems like with this AoE silence, a lot of the heroes on RNG's side are going to have a lot of issues.
Yeah, I definitely do think so, that the AoE silence is very good, but that is a really good last healer. Looking at the whole lineup of Liquid, they don't really have anything to do with this hero. They've got high burst damage, they have the Crippling Fear, which is one thing that can be a bit annoying for that lifesteal. Well, look at his matchups. He's got some very good ones coming into play in the lane as well as in that mid game.
All right, well, let's see if RNG are able to make those early plays, because as soon as the nighttime comes in and Mind Control starts to stalk around the map, if he can get over the trees, if he getting on top of the lifestealer early, it sort of goes both ways, right? Because he's not going to be able to press rage. He's going to be silenced for the good 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, depending on the level of that fear.
I think it all depends on who comes out to a good start in the laning phase. We're going to see how they decide to choose their lanes and put pressure onto. Liquid already seeing that they want to make sure that Mind Control gets off to a good start. They're sending the gyrocopter bottom. They're looking to pressure Lifestealer. So I like this approach a lot by Liquid. I think this is super important for them in this laning aspect of the game. And we're seeing now more rise of the Tiny. I feel like this, we kind of were seeing it toward the end of the day yesterday, just Tiny seeming, and even the beginning of the day, of course, from Secret. Tiny just seeming to be a top pick now for the mid lane. Just super strong matchups, and you can just create so much havoc in space. And looking at Liquid's draft, they do have a lot of things that work well with it, right? They have the Tiny, the Gyro, and the ET. These three guys synergize really well together because they're all mixed. They're physical and magical all together.
Sure, but at the same time, right, it's not going to be easy for WeHeart to pop off, because you look at the heroes on RNG side, and there's Aquatic Shields, there's Flame Guards, there's Centaurs with high HP, there's a Lifestealer with Rage. There's a lot of ways for them to counterplay the combos.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mobility too, like I was mentioning. Tanky heroes and mobility can cause a definite problem for the Tiny, same thing with also that Lifestealer who has the built-in Rage. But we will see how it ends up as right now. The lane swapping begins.
Gonna say we are going to see RNG move their lanes around, but the same to be said by Liquid. As soon as RNG start to head down bottom, Mind Control's going to go the same way as well.
I love that. They're like, guys, we're swapping lanes, and Monet's like, wait up, I gotta dig. Dig in the mid lane.
I mean, hey, he got a player card pack. He's going to be able to buff up his fantasy team for the next 2 days.
I actually love that so much. And he still makes his way. They're waiting to see what the lanes are, because he wants to be matched up away from that aggro, from the aggro lane. He wants to be laning versus that Night Stalker in particular as a Lifestealer. So Lanem, he's going to get some freebie experience and last hits versus GH. Last time I saw GH as a Crystal Maiden in a 1v1, he killed Cuckoo as a Crystal Maiden versus a Sand King. But he denied this time, so Lanem should be able to just secure those last hits freely versus it. And look at this, Miracle's look at them just dancing. They're just dancing back and forth in the mid lanes, unable to decide which lane they want to have.
They're going jungle. Oh, here we go, you know. If you can't find the lane matchup you want, go to the jungle. It's sort of the pub approach.
What is going on right now?
I don't like my lane. I don't want that lane.
Look, Mind Control too. He's just like, all right, I'll jungle as well.
All right, this is the new strat, ladies and gentlemen.
Miracle's just dancing back and forth, still in the mid lane.
See, when my teammates were doing this, I thought they were game ruining. Little did I know they were pulling out TI strats before the meta.
They were ahead of the time.
They were.
They're I mean, this is actually...
Okay, I mean...
I didn't expect to see this, but it looks like we have a one-position Kuroki Elder Titan free farming top lane.
Wow. This is remarkable.
Well, that's going to change some timings and peakness for some heroes, as some heroes are just not going to be pressured now, and others were going to have more experience than you would have imagined. I mean, it's a level 3 Elder Titan on Kuroki already in this game. Now we're seeing the lanes are starting to get matched. They're going to have the Monet up versus that ET as well as Night Stalker, but I mean, the thing is that Kuroki's got level 3 already. A level 2 Advert at this point in the game. Look at Apu. He's just dead.
Whoa.
Deny though.
He does indeed. Nice miscon from Apu. We'll take that opportunity away from Kuro, but even so, you saw the power of that ET.
Giving ET an early level 3 like this and he gets boots, he can run down anybody in the game with absolute ease. You're going to have plus 100 damage if you get just 2 heroes caught by that spirit. All right, we're getting back to normal Dota now. Everybody's
like the lanes
getting back into the lanes, but like we said, high level Elder Titan, high level Mirana might be able to change a little bit of factor here into this laning start here.
What about this, the bottom lane? We can see Miracle and GH, this Gyro, they should be fairly safe, or do you think there's definitely a chance that RNG could get on top of GH in this lane?
If you get covered by an arrow, you're probably dead. Yeah. Unless you're inside of the creep wave.
Mid lane.
GH can't.
Oh, it's close. It's very, very close. Sensu will come out on top of that attempt from WeHeart. Both of them trying to go for that first blood. Sensu's going to win it off the bottom lane.
There's that arrow.
RNG, they make the connection. As they get GH, Miracle chased down, will be able to get back behind the tower. They won't dive any further. But a quick 2 kills from RNG to kick these lanes off as they find those favorable matchups.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a tough lane, right? We see, like as we were talking about, Centaur versus Gyro, I think we've seen it a lot in this, over this year. Just how much base damage you have advantage over the Gyrocopter, and also they have a double stun lineup. So if you step up too far, high-level Mirana, as we mentioned, even though it was a support Mirana who got all that experience, does dish out a lot of deeps. 2-0, WeHeart. Still looking to be aggressive, just break off that flame guard immediately when it does get used by Setsu, so he can play aggressive in the lane. And WeHeart should be able to farm still quite freely here. Oh, but he misses his range creep. He actually tree through and missed it. Just a little bit there.
Still having that slight edge on Setsu and CS, but it's very, very close between the two of the mid.
Send them back to base. Flame Guard is going to be up soon, but he doesn't actually want to stay in the lane because he's just too low. Doesn't want to have to use
important that he gets these. I mean, as you said, Kuro already having a brilliant start in terms of experience. If he was getting these kills as well, this lane would be an absolute nightmare for RNG, despite being able to force this lifestealer against the Night Stalker lane.
Yeah.
Very important that Arfu gets these off every time. Now they'll turn. Open wounds onto Kuro. Mind Control trying to body block them off, but Arfu's on top of him, and this time the miscoil will be used offensively. Arfu able to strike back as he comes back into the lane and take out Kuro.
Lifestealer being one of, I think I say it every single time I see Lifestealer versus Elder, it's like the best carry hero in the game. It feels like versus AET, because you just can run him down. He's high strength. You don't really care about getting your armor negated. And even though it's a high level ET, he actually hasn't gotten any more experience. He's now hitting that level 4, but he's going to be going for phase boots on Kuroki, so he's really looking to be extremely aggressive on this Elder Titan, just punch heroes in particular.
Oh yeah, he wants to make the most of those early levels.
Yeah. Nighttime hits too, so Mind Control only level 3 up top because of all these constant lane swaps, so he's probably going to stay up here for the time being to farm. And even though bottom, we said that they were going to get pressured, they did get killed that one time. Miracle's still able to secure some farm versus the Centaur with the IO.
They're trying on mid. We are very low. Zafu's going to come in looking to dive for 2 of them. Aphotic shield on Setsu, allowing him to continue to chase. We are trying for the dupes in the trees, and Kuro, he's just slamming down onto Setsu, punching him with a big old stapler. Chains are back up.
He's got a spirit and a stomp. Setsu, he's going to have to juke this one out. He's got the slide.
He's not going to use it.
Get it.
Didn't even turn to try and go for the slide dodge. Would have been hard to do.
It would have been hard because it's only level 1, but
now Kuro, he's looking to run down another. Arfu's in trouble. He's being sandwiched in by the 2 of them. Wrap around from We Are, punch the mango.
find Alpha as well.
They'll get the both of them. Liquid getting themselves their first 2 kills in the game. And with those catches around the mid lane, another death on Setsu. Sure, he didn't die earlier, but he was pushed out of lane, so it's more time where We Are's going to have that advantage.
Kuroki. Of course. Okay, he actually was. Oh, those were not his blades of attack. All right, cool. I was wondering how he got that gold. He's actually just going to be going for more of the 5 position build. I was like, wow, Kuroki's going phase boots. Maybe because of that start he had, but he actually passes off the blades of attack to Mind Control. Mind Control will have phase boots now in that laning phase, which will put some pressure on Monet here. And as we saw bottom, they were forcing away RNG quite a lot here with this aggro dual lane with Weehaw coming down now too. They actually just have so much sustain because of the IO.
Weehaw sneaking around the back of the tree line. Wants to get this wraparound on Lanham. They've got the 3 of them here, Liquid. Lanham actually ends up juking past him. They'll look towards Flyby. He's a bit of a tankier hero to go for, but tossing him back into the rocket barrage will start to bring him low. Pop the stick charges, missiles on the way over. We are slapping him down with the tree.
And he has an arcane rune.
They'll get the kill. Flyby's gone. A successful rotation from Weehaw. Manages to open up that bottom lane to be back in a bit of Liquid's favor. Mid lane, dive onto Kuro. Stomp will slow down Setsu momentarily, but the shield gets it back off. He can jump forward with the remnant. Kuro slowly burning down to the flame. A couple of remnants from Setsu will seal the deal.
Still off to a very solid start here for RNG. These moves, I mean, Alpha, right? He's just moving around the map, even though he's in Abaddon. Abaddon, as their 5 position, is able to make moves around the map like this and even deny yourself a couple of times. Very impactful. And we see swaps more from Liquid. They want to, looks like they want to actually have a better matchup here in that mid. As Weehaw just continues to roam around and try to set up for kills. Come on, Em.
Trying to turn a bit, give a bit of damage back the way of Weehaw.
Uh-oh. Setsu, he got too over-aggressive.
Whoa! Hit that.
Now Alpha.
He's straight up dead. Liquid just turning around as Setsu. I mean, I don't know what he was trying for there. Walking right into the face of the gyro. He did have a ramp. Well, he had a ramp, but he did not have the mana to jump or escape.
He was checking rune, right? He was going to check that 8
It caught him by surprise.
It's spawned bottom. Weehaw was the one who was able to get a haste rune instead, so he gets...
That was always a risky play to go for, though, without any sort of escape potential.
But they're able to make so many aggressive moves. Like, look at this. Weehaw's pretty much doing what we saw Topsin as well as mid one. Like, what we've been seeing all these Tinies now doing. You just run around and just try to set up kills constantly. And then you park your carry hero in a good farming lane, which is that mid one, so they can set up for kills for themselves.
That's a smooth one from Setsu. Sidestep with the remnant. Gets him out of the stomp. Gets him back in the game and getting a kill. Very important for Setsu. We can see CS is sort of low on him, but net worth-wise, it's very even. He is up there second highest, right behind Miracle's Gyro.
Just constantly moving around. I mean, the IO and the Gyrocopter are literally just moving from lane to lane. They're gonna have relocate ready quite soon, so we're gonna have to watch for those global potential moves that could catch RNG off guard pretty early on. It's just about done there for GH. Great ways to set up for it too, in particular with that Tiny running around making space, but also my control. He's able to get on top of targets with that crippling fear. We know how long that silence is at night. You can easily set up for rotations.
They have got the Stampede, they've got the Ember with his remnants. There are ways for RNG to react to even some of those global moves. And not necessarily the easiest for Liquid to pull off unless they can get themselves on top of the Sentinel, perhaps. Get that silence on and make sure there's no Stampede save for the rest of the team. Moonlight Shadow used from RNG. They'll set up for the 10-minute runes. Mono will be able to take it right away from Weeha. No detection, of course, on himself, and in fact, RNG, they're the ones to strike. Coming towards Kuro, Kuro's dead. Here comes the backup. Miracle and GH trying to turn things around. Setsu has the remnant, ready to throw up to the high ground. They'll get themselves away from the relocate. That's the difficulty of trying for these plays. There's always going to be that chance for a quick escape from some of RNG's cores.
I love that, right? It's like you mentioned, there's the double global, there's the global on both sides, where if the relocate comes, you Stampede or you Moonlight Shadow and disengage. A good move by RNG, and that's the first nighttime that does go down, but it looked like this was more of a farming nighttime. They want to just have Mark Control parked up top so we can get those levels for now, because making moves around the map is nice soccer. If you move in that first night and you're not successful, you ruin your game as a core. So you have to get that farm.
Weeha, he's got backup coming in. TP will be there, and Setsu. Arfu won't see the opportunity to dive any further. They don't want to take the chances with GH coming in with the heals.
They know Miracle's isolated a bit on bottom though, since the IO did leave and show himself on him. Very low though.
Good sort of coverage again from Kuro. Stomp from the tree line. Cannot stay on top. The space to back off. He's finishing off his drums. Looking for the axe next.
They're going to try to play pretty fast with the Gyro as well as that Night Stalker. You're playing versus Lifestealer. You know what Lifestealer is going to do. He's got the gloves already queued up, so he's going to go for a minus. So he's going to try to want to take advantage of that a little bit here.
Combo in the mid from Weeha will take out the Flame Guard. Setsu. Again, having Arfu sort of constantly sat behind him makes him a very hard target for Weeha to go for. Even with the good levels on the Tiny, he cannot burst this Ember.
I like that we see Monet. He's going the Midas. It's not going to be the Radiance. So he's going to be going for that armlet build. You're playing versus Gyrocopter. You want to have that early timing so you can fight back. And they also have, of course, their own. They have their Infest bombs. They have a Centaur. They have an Ember Spirit. They even have the Miranda too, which is a little bit of a crazy one if you do leap in and go for those. But they have ways for Monet to get on top of targets in particular. This has to be a little worried. He doesn't get kited out. That's why a lot of players, they go for that Radiance build because sometimes, the movement speed. Gyrocopter's going to be running around at, what, 450 at some point because of that IO tethered up. We'll have to watch that one if Monet is able to stick on targets.
Still a very close early game. Both teams
Many rotations.
sort of mirroring the pressure of one another. Dive in on the top tower will be responded to by TP's coming in and looking for Mike, trying to get the Christmas fear out. They're silencing them all in the AoE. Toss back now. The combo commits. He'll look forward to Monet, but Monet's rage is up. He'll turn lockdown onto mind control. They're bringing him low with a missed coil, but not quite enough damage to bring down the Night Stalker as Liquid will stay all alive. See if they can chase and find anyone on the retreat. Stomp doesn't quite catch Arfu. Arfu, he's not going to come back in. RNG wants to try and take this fight. They're on top of Weeha. Ult gets sent down by Kuro to split up the chase. Another shield from Arfu buys him some time, but again, another deny from Arfu. Every single time taking away that chance for Liquid to get a bit of golden XP as he's hitting these missed coils perfectly.
Kuro was just pretty much, that looked like it was more so of a zoning Earth Splitter, and then they just caught off with it, but set deny again. Both teams just matching the aggression.
In terms of what the bigger items that are going to be important to look out for, Weeha's Blink halfway away for it. As you said earlier, definitely the Lifestealer's armlet. Monet, he'll be looking to grab that one before they try and force anything else.
Okay, so it is going to be armlet into the Radiance, because the movement speed thing in particular, he does have to make sure that he can. We saw Was it you? I've seen a couple people doing.
We'll go Armlet.
Yeah,
and
you go
Radiance.
Midas, Armlet, and then you still go back for that Radiance because you're gonna have trouble sticking on targets.
Sure, I guess they're sort of the best of both worlds, right?
Yep.
You're able to fight, you're able to turn up and be this very scary hero very early on, but you're going to still go for that scaling potential.
Yeah, and it gives you just flat armor, right? You have your phase boots for flat armor, you have a Helm of Iron Will for flat armor, so ET's aura in the later stages will be able to get prevented a little bit. Good fighting items.
Another push onto the tower. Weeheart having Kuro by his side. Miracle and GH over to the triangle area. Continue to hit those timings. Miracle, he is top net worth. And he's on track for a very good timing on picking up the Aghanims at this rate. He's already got the Blade of Alacrity done. Good time. Mid lane, Weeheart. Trying for a catch. Mono using the rage to make sure that he cannot be tossed back. He'll turn towards Flyby instead, but being the Centaur War Runner, a Rocket Barrage won't be enough.
Liquid bringing all 5 heroes. So RNG, they're able to split up the map a little bit there. Setsu's farming top, Lanem farming bottom. Now we have these bounty roots, and it's going to be nighttime. Arrow, GH, Mono.
Lanem, they're getting in on it. Can Lanem get the pick up in time? He's not going to be able to do so. Miracle will grab it, now turns towards Lanem with the homing missile. With the lead by Lanem's out of way. They won't chase. They'll just sell for the bounty runes, 2 for 2. Back up top. RNG finding a catch on Kuros. He's left behind by Mind Controllers and Weeheart as they return to their respective lanes. For 2k lead now for RNG, starting to ramp up a little bit faster and a little bit more evenly spread. You see both Monet and Setsu standing very close to the farm of Miracle, whereas Weeheart and Mind Control slipping a little behind.
Lanem and Flyby are kind of both being these 3 positions right now. Lanem just having such an early good start since he was given kind of that cold roll bottom. He's actually been given 50 last hits on this Marauder. He's going to have a very early Atos set up for his team.
Middle tower has been denied.
It just seems we're seeing Liquid's lineup trying to chase for a lot of kills with a lot of heroes, but they're just struggling to find the grab. There's so many ways for RNG to get away from them. Now, trying to play with the fear, but RNG, they're ready to turn Sensu. Beautiful jumping from outside of the silence, gets back in, sets up the lockdown on the old Stampede Jews to get themselves out of the initial team fight of Liquid. Weeheart backing on the front lines, goes for the avalanche line. I'm able to turn with the burst. Miracle healed up by GH for Sensu. He's got the grab with the chains onto Mind Control. Liquid are having to back off. Another big slide of fist hits them all as Sensu continues to chase. Arfu's on the front line, but they turn. He's silent. The crippling fear causing issues for Arfu, and now Sensu, he's falling low. The silence will end just in time, allowing Sensu to get back over to the prepared remnant in. Going for the TP. Mind Control nearly finding him to get the vision for that void, but he will get out. Arfu, the only one to fall.
His Dark Ascension ended like a second before he actually got into that high ground. Oh my god, that was very close for them getting that clean up kill. We saw the Crippling Fear really coming into play there, but RNG also, we see they're very tanky, very sustainable. We see as soon as that Stampede gets popped, they can choose to go for which targets they want, and they just have so much frontline that they can just close in onto those targets. They didn't get on top of GH's IO though, so he was able to get a lot of sustain for his team as well.
Toss back here onto Arfu. Put the sleep on both him and Setsu. Setsu's going to try and help out, but Arfu's already dead. Now they're on top of Setsu. Missile's headed his way. Should be fine. He's got the 3 remnants. And with him back behind the tower, he'll get out of there. Liquid with the full 5-man, ready to put some pressure. Rage and an escape from him. He cannot stand tall for the fight, but Setsu's going to try and jump in and look for the cleanup. Change on both Weeheart and Kuro. Kuro drops down the arms, split them up, and Weeheart's in with the combo. On to Setsu. Setsu's out of battle. Setsu's dead. He overcommits and gets punished heavily by Liquid.
You have to be really careful when you commit forward like that. There's so much burst that sure you have Flame Guard, but you're playing versus Gyrocopter with Tiny with the natural order. We mentioned it during the draft. You do have to be a bit cautious there when you commit forward. And GH, he's getting left alone in the fights. Even though they have ways like Sin was talking on the draft panel, they have a lot of ways of getting on top of the IO, but GH is not getting killed in the fights. He is getting all of his bottle charges off, all of his stick charges off, just keeping the sustain going for Miracle. And now Miracle's got an X.
Yeah. GH 2-1-5. His positioning has been perfect. Every single fight that Liquid have looked for so far.
They're protecting him really well too, right? Mind Control's kind of charging in. See the skill build from Mind Control as well. Only the 2 points in Void because, yeah, sure, your damage scales up, the cooldown scales up, but it's really all about that long duration silence and the cooldown. Crippling Fear scales insanely. 8 seconds silence at night with a 15-second cooldown. It's got 50% uptime. It's pretty absurd. So that's definitely going to cause problems as we may see early BKBs get picked up after their first damage items on the side of RNG just to deal with that Crippling Fear. Miracle.
They'll jump in, but again, GH into the tether, starting to give Miracle the sustain he needs to turn and look to try and fight back. Arfu is the focus. Borrow time. Will borrow him enough to get over the river, but the ball slapping into the side of him, slowing down. Arfu this time will not be able to deny himself. Miracle now dominating as Liquid are coming out on top with these little skirmishes.
They're really taking advantage of the nighttime.
On Setsu. They got the damage during this amount of silence and lockdown. The stomp setup. We are in close. He did with the combo. Setsu tries to throw out the rounders. Will be able to jump down to the low ground. Arrow holds back. We are, but Liquid, they're chasing onward. The homing missiles go the way of Setsu. Is pretty deep behind the tier 2 tower, so RNG will want to try and fight back. The combo's out for flyby with the main heal. The backups are pretty much full. Liquid. They're diving in towards the tier 3s. We are in with the combo. They've killed off Setsu and let him. Setsu buys back. Desperately wanting to turn this around and punish Liquid for their dive. As Weehawk gets left behind by the rest of the team. Liquid getting everybody else out of theirs, it seems. Kuro will TP out right underneath the nose of Arfu. Everyone else gets away.
And they get 4 bounty runes for Liquid after that. Super aggressive dive forward.
There's still a tier 1 and a tier 2 in that top lane, but Liquid don't care. Taking the fight right up to the tier 3. Coming out on top. Sure, they lose Weehawk, but it's a buyback forced out from Setsu. His gold is going to get slowed down.
They have to prioritize GH higher. Somehow, they have to kill this IO. Like you said, in the fight, and it's looking like RNG might be alternative. The mech gets popped. Everyone gets pretty much full healed from it. Level 12 on GH as well as level 13 on Miracle. They're pretty much just sharing that experience because they're surviving throughout all of these fights. This front line, this nighttime is really causing problems for RNG. They need to kick up the pace during the daytime. This is where they need to make some active moves.
They've just got to throw everything as well.
Yeah, they have to get on GH.
They have to. They've got to try and get the wrapper on. We saw them try and threat in the mid lane. But every time their sort of focus has been diverted towards the gyro. They're trying to deal with Miracle, but just the amount of heals that Miracle's getting, and now with his items done, Aghanim's Maelstrom was picked up. I believe was that on the courier when it died? He did have the money, I believe.
I didn't think it was. I think Kuroki picked it up. Yeah, Kuroki has it.
Kuro's got the delivery service.
I was like, wait,
yeah.
The courier's dead, but I saw him buy it, so that would have made sense. Yeah.
There we go. So Kuro's going to be able to drop off the Maelstrom into the hands of Miracle, and there we have it, 21 minutes in. Phase drum, Aghanim Maelstrom, Gyrocopter. That's a little bit of a terror for RNG.
Absolutely. Just so many distractions in the fight. Mind Control's doing an excellent job on this Night Stalker, who is the first Night Stalker of the tournament, right? I'm pretty sure that's what they were saying as well. So they're making it work. These long duration silence are really punishing RNG at the moment. RNG, only, like we said, though, only that 1k gold behind, and they're pretty much having the Radiant stun on Monet. So he's got a good timing for himself too, but Setsu is starting. I mean, Setsu's not being falling behind too much because he's tied with the Tiny, but he'd want himself to have more fun because he's got those 4 deaths. Keeps getting just comboed and chased down.
It is hard against this Night Stalker. You're running, what, 4 melee heroes? And even the ranged hero, Lanham, he's ideally trying to get in kind of close to maximize damage with the Starstorm. They're very vulnerable to this Crippling Fear.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, the 4 melee is definitely a concern when you're playing versus ET and Night Stalker, right? And also even Call Down. Even though they have the high mobility, if they don't have the Stampede up, they can get caught quite easily by all of these spells as Liquid. They're looking to fight again. They've got Dark Ascension available for Mind Control, so whenever they have that or nighttime, they're definitely going to look to just bring the punch back to RNG.
We've got the Maelstrom done on Setsu, so a little bit of a damage spike up for the team. If he's able to sort of keep himself alive. We saw earlier the potential for those sort of cute plays, staying outside of the fear. If he can get in with the Slight and Chains onto Mind Control, just offers some sort of control. At least get a kill, as we said, definitely the priorities being that IO. Obviously, it would be nice if they can get the Night Stalker before crippling fear, but it's getting harder and harder to do so each of these times they go in. Another big item is now finished for RNG.
Is done, but at the same time too, Mind Control picks up a full pipe.
It's a full pipe.
So Medallion pipe, he's even carrying the 3 dusts. I love this. He's the Night Stalker. I think 3 positions, we've seen more and more core players buying their own reveal, but as a Night Stalker, you're in the front line, you're diving toward the back always. You're playing versus Moonlight Shadow, you need to have that dust for your team. So that's like the Radiance, very strong of course, because of the mission trade and all the damage that's going to be coming up, but counteracted a bit by that pipe. Flyby does have a blink now though for RNG, so as we were saying, they had the Stampede and they had the Ember Spirit in order, and even the Marauder to get on top of that IO, and now they have a blink.
Looking at Miracle, GH is going to be around to be able to save it. Students come in for the shrine, they're committing a lot onto this Jara, but there's the easy tear. The GH just comes across and just starts to turn things around. They've got the chase on towards Monix. Stampede will be used to get them out of there, but Flyby's left behind. The Centaur will fall. And Arfu, he doesn't look to be in much of a better situation. They're running him down. Liquid, again, just punishing any attempt from RNG to look for a fight. RNG going for a very awkward play there, moving over to Liquid's triangle and trying to initiate on this Gyrocopter who had all the backup in the world.
They're trying to make stuff happen during the daytime, but Dark Ascension gets popped, and then it's pretty much nighttime. It is nighttime when he does do that, and they can... Lifestealer, who's really been able to do much inside of these fights. And he just has to disengage. Miracle is getting to a fast critical mass period. Already, I mean, he's already got the Eagle Song, he's got the Butterfly queued up. They do not have good ways to deal with that at all on the side of RNG's, if he's able to get that, which he will soon.
These are the items that are just coming out so fast. And sure, you look at the net worth, Money is close behind. But just what this Gyro is able to do with the backup of GH's IO in comparison to what the Lifestealer is able to do with a similar amount of gold, it's just totally different. It's not even close.
Weehan, a bit far up here. Reload King's coming out, I think, but they want to fight this.
Tanky is going to have the pipe buff off it up, but Weehan stepping away. Monet won't be able to finish him off even with the rage committed, and now the turnaround. Miracle goes to the 3-man call-out. Solo the ball, crippling fear out to Monet. Stopped up by Kuro. The Lifestealer's dead. And all coming into play is going to easily set up for another of them. A jump forward towards Arfu. Liquid just cleaning up RNG every single fight. As RNG, they just cannot get the kills now. At this point in the game, they're really struggling to bring the fights to Liquid.
They cannot take the fights versus them at all. There's
turns towards Setsu. A buyback comes out from Flyby. Skura goes for the TP out. Change will cancel it. RNG pushing back Liquid. See if they can find any of the big kills. Both Weeha and Miracle would be a bit of a dream for RNG to catch, but looks like they'll both have the speed to get themselves out of there. Does cost them a buyback, but they keep those racks held.
They finally get on top of GH.
They do. They throw everything down onto the IO and they do the job.
Weeha just runs in, breaks his flame guard, and he's like, haha, now you can't farm as efficient. And then he goes invis and walks away. And they force that buyback on Flyby. Just we have daytime for about 4 minutes. There's Dark Ascension, of course, up in about 20 seconds. RNG not seeming to be able to find ways to catch them off guard here. Liquid all still grouped together, just wanting to take the fights to RNG since they're just feeling very comfortable with this lead.
They find that, you know, that gyro kill has got to be worth so much right now.
They see the courier walking outside the base because they do have a base ward. This is really important. Base wards, these can be just straight up game winning because you get the jump into the backs, or you see when they're initiating, you can pop your immunities or pop your silences with crippling fear in particular from by control. That's definitely going to be pretty important to look at.
Beset on
Another
all
tower
sides.
taken by Liquid. RNG opting to look for the fights on the high ground rather than trying to poke around these tier 2 defenses.
He's going to clean up the shrine. Aegis is going to be reclaimed in about 10 seconds. RNG trying to take advantage of that timing.
Look at the arrow connection onto Miracle. That Aegis is Satanic. He really is the target they want to try and find. Monet pops the wounds. He's trying to poke on a Miracle, but with the evasion as well, Miracle just isn't taking much damage at all. They'll surround him. Lanham's going to pounce out. It's on top of Monet. Monet, he's dead. Dead for 70 seconds. And with the missile chase down onto Flyby, Liquid's going to look for more. Miracle has the damage. Double kill for Miracle as there's 3 dead on RNG.
Setsu, he has no remnants. He's got one up in about 2 seconds.
And this silence
here again.
It's so destroying for the heroes of RNG. Setsu has got buyback, but both Flyby and Monet cannot return to the game.
Forcing so many buybacks. Miracle is still holding his ground here. They don't have creeps though, so these Rexes they are killing. Creeps will start coming in. RNG trying to set up for something here.
Can they do anything with just the 3 of them?
Lion wants the back. He wants Kuroki.
He's got the connection. Jumps in with the burst. It's one of the backliners down. RNG. And they chase for more. Liquid. They are retreating. Lanham's hunting. And Liquid a little too speedy to be able to get themselves away. So again, a little bit of a kickback from RNG, but Liquid just getting that lead bigger and bigger. 6K advantage. The map control, the game control still seriously in Liquid's favor.
That was them like timing it, right? Like they had the countdown. They know, you know that they have that timer of that age. They're like, all right, 10 seconds. You saw Monet was trying to ignore Miracle, but the damage from this gyrocopter really starts to add up too much. And yeah, this Night Stalker last pick is seeming it a couple times, and I mean, they had some success with it. And this game, it does seem to be just perfect to just shut down that mobility that the draft panel was talking about that could be some problems.
with a superior draft
Radiant's middle
that's just
barracks are
proven
under attack.
impossible to break down in any of the fights. There it is. GG is called Liquid.
Radiant's middle barracks
They'll take game one. Gyro and Io. Miracles Gyro 12-0-11. And GA 2-4-20. It was a clean game from Liquid. And I don't think they're going to be getting that partnership again in game two. And you just got a treasure.
And I just got a treasure. No, thank you.
Did I get a treasure? I didn't get a treasure.